This is my presentation of my documentary. It's gonna be kind of hard to see due to lighting, but I decided to do this because I think it's a topic that means a lot to me. I find it really important. I thought this would be the best thing I could do for my entire semester project, and it's something that I'm like passionate about. To preface this, I did use Microsoft Paint to do this because I didn't want to use like an actual animating software just for like rough sketches, and just I put general ideas, like for example this isn't like a high standard picture of Earth but I did like a little drawing just to show like where my thought process is and what I'm going to improve on as I keep going.
Alright, so we first start off with a panned image of the Earth rotating, while a brief description of how calm the Earth looks from the outside. The narrator says, Earth, how peaceful and calm it looks. Home to as many as 7 billion people. Everyone trying their best to make a living. Everyone working together to provide a, what's that? Global pandemic. Climate change? Let me take a look at it. And then it pans in on a bunch of videos of destruction of the Earth. Factories producing harmful gases, harmful farm tactics, polar bear on solid block of ice floating across water, and forests destroyed by fires.
Now you'll see like a reoccurring theme. I am going to include videos in this. I'll provide the YouTube links and all that, but yeah, I am going to provide videos of like any example I have, like for example the mass destruction that I'm kind of insinuating right here. Yeah.
The narrator says, this is horrible. Who could have done something like this? Humans. We did this. Due to our unhealthy habits, we have single-handedly improved and destroyed our Earth simultaneously. With climate change, we have people actively trying to change the way Earth is handled to better our living situation, and then we have people, it cuts off right there, and then it pans a small video montage of people saying climate change is fake and that the Earth is fine. The narrator.
I will include, like I said, actual videos of the people to also include in my animation. It's just for a rough sketch, I wasn't going to animate people like actually talking, and I wasn't sure if I should like record the audio of the sources I was going to use, or just go ahead and kind of briefly skip over and just like summarize what's about to happen.
Says people that don't believe that our Earth is dying at a very scary and alarming rate. To try and help you better understand climate change, here's a brief cause and effect description, and then we have a video clip explaining climate change from a global standpoint, and I have the YouTube link provided. The narrator goes on to say, now that we have a basis for what climate change is, how can we fix it from doing more damage to our planet? And then we have another video that plays from WWF International explaining how we can help and what bad habits we need to cut in order to make Earth a better place to live. And then we have the link. The narrator goes to say, with all this information easily at our fingertips, surely we have done something to put these actions in place, right? Yes and no.
Now for this, I was debating towards the end of my presentation putting like sources not just like YouTube link sources, but also like additional website sources that people can look up to get more information, because briefly summarizing a point or just like showing a 30-second clip from a video isn't going to necessarily persuade somebody into critically think about what they're trying to, I don't know, what the actual person's trying to convey.
There are people taking action into their own hands to try and stop it, but it's not enough. Big business and the way a country is run play a big role in deciding whether our planet flourishes or crumbles. And then narrator goes on to say, but why would somebody not want to help out the planet they live on? Corporate greed. Money has been a factor of our lives since the last few millenniums. And then it shows a video of big business owners walking, Congress people shouting, just higher ups in general doing their normal day-to-day things. The narrator says, not only do people keep doing their bad habits for money, there's a lot of skepticism towards climate change. Being born where all we know is unhealthy habits, it draws a lot of questions and non-belief. And then there will be a video playing of, well, actually there will be a few small clips playing of people saying climate change is fake.
With this subject, I'm gonna try and keep it as non-political as I can, because I don't want to upset anybody. I just want to kind of put out this message that, hey, if you were thinking about kind of just seeing the evidence that's like out there, you're more than welcome to. It's just, this is a message I'm trying to give.
There's a YouTube description and a link. The narrator goes on to say, a visual representation of climate change would be the California forest fires. What we know is that it was caused by a family throwing a gender reveal party. However, the fires would have been done if not for climate change. And then right here we'll show a clip of the California forest fires and people having to leave their homes to be safe from it. The narrator goes on to say, thousands of acres and land destroyed by not only people, but climate change. Today we have people who are currently in California talking about life currently due to the fires. And this was about 3 or 4 weeks ago when I had this conversation, when it was really bad in California. So now we'll have a segment where I'll be talking to a friend that lives in California, speaking about like what life was like a few weeks ago. Alright, so my part will be, how were things in San Francisco area during the whole forest fire situation? Because my friend lives in the San Francisco Bay Area. And then it'll just pan between us talking. So, my friend will say, it wasn't the best time. The entire sky was covered in this orange smoke-like substance. Things felt like they were going slower. And then it'll pan to me, saying, and how were people's attitudes during this time? Then it'll pan to the friend, saying, it was obviously a shock when everyone came outside and saw that there was no sky, just smoke covering it. People around the area weren't too happy. Life around here seemed kind of depressing. There was a lot of traffic built up on the highways because people were scared of the fires that were kind of surrounding us. It'll pan to me again. Were you ever scared that it was going to hit your town or potentially hit your home? Then I'll pan to a friend. Oh, definitely. The house I had lived in for almost 20 years was at threat of being burned down. All that my family had worked for, all the memories would have been gone. And then it pans to me and I say, of course, and do you think the fires would have stopped by now if not for climate change and our rapidly depleting planet? And then it'll pan to my friend, there's no doubt in my mind. And then it'll pan back to me saying, thank you for your time. And
I actually do have the audio recording of me and my friend talking. It's just I wasn't sure if I should put it in right now or save it till I actually do the actual animation.
then the narrator will say, "Now with all this going on, will you help? With all this evidence accumulate, will you be part of the change that makes a permanent impact for us forever?" And then it'll pan back to the earth spinning and heartwarming music, and then it'll kind of transition into darkness where it'll be the credits.
All right. Thank you for coming.